Perhaps you need a short break. Something to lighten the mood. Welcome, one and all, to the first episode of Tozu's Tea Time.
Yay!
If you haven't already, please sit back and relax.
Tá bom.
Here, we do not use our brains, but deal only in gossip.
Tá, vamos lá. O que você tem pra dizer pra gente?
Now, a question from me to you.
Tá bom.
What are sheep good at, if anything? Most humans, and some sheep, tend to respond with a resounding absolutely nothing. Sheep cannot create art or invent medicine. For goodness sake, they can't even perform music. Their limited speech and quadrupedal locomotion prevents them from reaching the heights of humans. They're practically glued to the lower echelons of the food chain. No matter how hard sheep may try, they will never be anything more than their number tags. I can't say I like that answer. Too pessimistic for me. Plus, what of the sheep who still try? The sheep who realize their fate but continue to challenge it all the same. That they can be so determined to prove their worth when humans have all but deemed them microwavable meals. Isn't that something admirable? What a shame our sheep had to be so misguided. It seems that's about all the time we have.
Quê?
Thank you again for attending Tozu's Tea Time. No need
porque-
for extravagant farewells. I've an inkling you'll be back for tea sooner than you can say Jack Robinson. Who's Jack Robinson? I have no idea. Ta-ta!
Tá bom. Vou aceitar. Vou aderir, né?
Diana, now's your chance to defend yourself.
Vai,
Tell me what happened.
Where do I even start, though?
How about you begin by explaining why you went to the boiler room?
Why I went there? It was 'cause of a note.
Mas a
A
note.
note?
A note.
2 days ago, someone slid one into my room. I never got to see who. I just heard a knock. And when I walked over, there was a note under my door.
I don't remember any of this.
Sorry. It was midday-ish, and you weren't there at the time. And I didn't show you the note later because, well, I'll just read you what it said.
Diana, as you are aware, and is your obligation to speak with those whose blackmail we have obtained. After receiving your blackmail and reading the information disclosed in, I believe a meeting between the two was unwarranted. Until this time, please come to the underground boiler room at 15 to 8 a.m. Make sure to arrive promptly and close the door behind you. To avoid discourse, don't show anyone this letter. Don't approach me about it either, even private. There's a way to tell someone can hear. Wolfgang.
Wolfie wrote this?
Wolfgang had Diana's blackmail? But didn't he have Jean's?
Hold on a sec. If you take a closer look, the handwriting on that note, doesn't it resemble the handwriting on Wolfgang's note?
You're actually right. Even though Wolfgang's note has been water damaged, the words I can make out were in the same messy...
Then someone else was posing as Wolfgang?
The killer, most likely. They must have thought his word was the only one Diana would follow.
Guess it worked, huh?
I didn't want to show this note earlier because I was scared of how people would try to twist it, like saying I faked the note or that I decided to kill because of it. I thought it would be better to just stay quiet. I know you guys think I'm stupid for agreeing to meet in a place like the boiler room. And I am stupid. I just didn't want to disappoint Wolfgang, in case he really did write the note, which was why I left my room around 8:40 a.m. and went downstairs.
Did you catch any strange movement down there?
No, it was just me. I did find the boiler room door hanging open a little bit, but I just went inside and closed the door behind me, since that's what the note asked me to do.
What did you see inside the boiler room?
The boiler room was really dark, so the first thing I noticed was actually the security camera light. My eyes had to take a few seconds to adjust to everything else. But after that, I finally saw him. Wolfgang was lying in the water, making these weird noises. It didn't seem like he'd even noticed me entering the room. Not until... Wolfgang? Hearing his name seemed to snap him out of his trance, because he slowly rose to his feet. Wolfgang, are you okay?
It's you.
Huh?
I can't believe it. I really am finally meeting you.
What do you mean?
Please, forgive me. Please forgive me for what I've become.
Wolfgang?
Despite how hard I tried, and how much I wanted it to be true, I could never become you. I will always be a failure.
It's okay, Wolfgang. Look! There's stairs over here. Come over here and we can get out. I have no idea if he didn't hear me, or if he was just ignoring me, but... Okay. I'll get closer to you then. I went over to the ledge of the platform, the part where the fence had a gap. Just take my hand, okay? And I'll pull you out. He slowly stumbled over, and he held my hand. I didn't really think I could pull him out. I just wanted to be there for him. It was the best I could do, because staying on the platform felt so much safer. And I really, really hate that it did. It's okay, Wolfgang. We'll get through this together, all right? I was looking at him when I said that. I was looking right at him, but somehow... Somehow I didn't think to react. When he reached inside his blazer.
Não. Não gostei.
Brain back. Bring her back!
I tried to leave the room, but the door was locked. I didn't know what to do. I started looking around for things to defend myself with. And that's when I saw the gun.
The taser gun? Did you use it?
I took the taser, and I aimed it at Wolfgang. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't shoot him. I just backed away from him. I couldn't understand anything. Why was this happening to me? Why was I being attacked? Why can't I do anything to...
I'm not like you. I'll never be like you.
Não. Como assim?
I won't give up until the world knows. I won't give up until everyone knows me as...
All of a sudden...
Oxe, peraí, galera.
Everything
Merda. Travou tudo.
turned white.
Aqui, pá, galerinha. Eu espero que não feche agora.
I couldn't understand anything. Why was this happening to me? Why was I being attacked? Why can't I do anything to...
I'm not like you. I'll never be like you. I won't give up until the world knows. I won't give up until everyone knows me as...
All of a sudden, everything turned white.
Sandra. E de repente, tudo ficou branco.
Everything in front of me. Except Wolfgang.
É porque eu tava com outro navegador aberto aí, deve ter galerinha, desculpa.
In those few seconds, he became pitch black.
Cara,
And then,
isso foi
so did everything else.
absoluto cinema, galera. Tipo, eu quero que esse tipo de cena esteja no capítulo 2. Eu quero que demore o tanto que eles precisarem. Tipo, revisem pra colocar o que eles queiram colocar. Que eles programem o tempo que eles precisarem. Eu preferi esperar 5 anos pra ter um capítulo. Pra eu ver esse absoluto cinema aqui, essa qualidade. Pode ser que eles até podem melhorar, expandir. Porque se isso foi o primeiro capítulo, tá, teve o prólogo. O prólogo foi bom. Eles melhoraram no primeiro capítulo. Agora, imagina o capítulo 2, galera. Eu prefiro que eles, tipo, sei lá, demorem mais pra fazer. Eu espero que eles postem no final do outro ano. No caso, 2026.
Even though I didn't see Wolfgang fall over, I heard it. His body cracking against the pavement, and his knife falling into the water. I waited for the gasp of pain, for him to groan or mumble or say something. But there was nothing. There was just me and the silence. That's how it happened.
What the fuck?
That man attacked you?
Oh my goodness, Diana, I'm at a loss for words.
This is getting too much for me, bros. I think I'm gonna faint.
Yay, Grace.
Holy shit. So Diana really did watch Wolfgang die.
But why was he so violent towards her? It's like he became an entirely different person.
The word you're looking for is crazy.
Despite how hard I tried and how much I wanted it to be true, I could not become you. Por que Wolfgang disse essas palavras em um momento tão particular?
How'd you manage to escape the boiler room after all that?
By picking the door's lock.
For reals?
I wasn't even thinking. I just started feeling my way back to the door in the dark. And then, well, my supply bag. I remembered the spare hairpins I always kept inside. So I felt around the bag and dug one out. To be honest, I have no idea how I managed to unlock the door. The whole thing was repeated trial and error. Just minutes of me telling myself that somehow this next attempt will finally work.
Whoa! Actually unlocking the doors. That's like hitting a bullseye blindfolded.
Now we know why it took so long for her to escape.
I realized why it happened. Getting trapped inside, I mean. The door's lock was on the outside. So, someone must have set the lock before I came downstairs. So that when I closed the door, I'd be trapped.
The lock is normally on the inside, too. The killer purposely flipped it, then left the door open so you would be the one to close it. As for why the killer locked the door to begin with...
It was to frame Diana, right?
Right. The killer made Diana trap herself inside the boiler room, so they could kill Wolfgang in front of her, and force her to remain by his body. Had their plan worked, Diana would only be able to escape if someone from outside entered the boiler room, by which point, that someone would be stumbling across what looks like a cut-and-dry murder case.
If the tournament folk found Diana, they would have been playing right into the killer's hands.
Speaking of which, Diana, I'm curious to know, did you unlock the door before or after the tournament attendees arrived downstairs?
It sort of happened at the same time. Like, when I opened the door, there were already people walking down the stairs. Obviously, I couldn't stay inside the boiler room. If anyone saw me close to Wolfgang's body, it would look really bad. The hallway was a bit easier to make out in the dark. So I walked over to a wall bordering one of the storage closets and hid behind it, and stayed as quiet as possible. I was still bleeding a little from Wolfgang's cut, though, and some of that blood ended up dripping onto the floor around me.
Hence the blood on the underground floor! It's all coming together!
This was shortly before us tournament goers split up. And you made a run for it, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Down the hallway, up the stairs, and then as quietly as possible into my room. Since everything was still really dark, I had to patch myself using the Tozu Trinket's projection as my light. I realize this is a lot, and I know it's hard to believe without proof. So, if you guys could just give me a second.
Vamos ver agora que meio que eles aparecem quando tá de costas pro personagem, mas é porque na versão que não é otimizada, né? Porque eu tô usando o APK, que é pra computadores mais fracos, é, não dá pra ver direito. Dá pra ver as costas da Diana, entendeu? Mexeu na bolsa dela, limpou o resto dela com um pano.
I cleared up the blood pretty fast. Luckily for me, the cut wasn't that deep. There's still a chance it may leave a scar, though.
Holy crap!
Molde Sprite da Diana, feita exclusivamente pra ela, gente. Muito legal.
That's awful!
It's okay. I'll cover it back up again.
Why did Wolfgang attack you for no reason?
I wouldn't say it was for no reason.
You're being kind of insensitive, man.
Huh? I didn't mean it like that. What I'm trying to say is, Wolfgang's actions may look random from an outsider's perspective, but from his perspective, well, judging by his behavior, it seems like he saw something which shook him to his core.
Like, there was something in the room that Diana didn't see?
That's impossible! It was only me and Wolfgang in the boiler room!
I don't believe Jean meant it in a literal sense.
Wolfgang literally saw something?
He thought he saw something, is my point.
You mean he had been hallucinating?
What did Wolfgang hallucinate for him to turn out the way Diana described?
You'd be surprised by the sort of things our minds can invent. I'm lucky to have never experienced anything myself, but I know some who have hallucinated nasty things. Demons and monsters, or the feeling of being tortured. If Wolfgang went through something similar, I can see why he lashed out.
Now what the heck is going on at sea?
Of course, these hallucinations don't just happen out of the blue. More often than not, they're substance-induced.
Substance-induced?
Just say Wolfgang took a hallucinogenic.
Hallucinogenics?
One which induced a lot of fatigue, too, judging by the way he lumbered about in Diana's account.
It would explain why Wolfgang mostly stayed in one place.
One place, which happened to be in the water.
Seems very deliberate. Aye. I reckon the killer knocked Wolfgang unconscious in order to drag him into the water, but knew he would eventually wake up again. So they drugged him with something which would basically make him despondent. As for where the drug came from...
Oh no! Don't tell me the killer robbed...
I knew exploring it was a bad idea.
It? What's this it we're talking about?
The pharmacy, obviously! Why the heck did we think leaving that place open was a good idea? Now someone's stolen an item and drugged Wolfgang. Fuck! I knew our promise was too good to be true! I can't trust any of you guys! Don't say Wolfgang drugged himself! Who wants to be tortured by demons?
Well, stranger people do exist.
That's rich coming from you!
Né? Assim como eu previ, explorando a farmácia, acabou desse jeito. Eu deveria fazer mais algum stop. Como que fazer alguma coisa a mais pra fazer as pessoas pararem de explorar? Só assim eu estava com as causas predeterminadas em expressão estudante interno da farmácia. Ai. Então, de novo, ninguém me escutou novamente. Especialmente não com o Wolfgang no
If
comando.
we know where the perpetrator got their chemicals, I guess our next step is figuring out how they did the drugging.
Agreed. It would help us better understand the timeline of events and potentially even validate Diana's testimony.
Sounds like you guys can leave this one to me. I'm the kind of person who knows someone back to front the moment I meet them. If you haven't already realized, I've gone and read this killer like an open book.
You're the last person I trust to reach a correct conclusion.
Just you wait! The second you hear what I gotta say, you'll be eating those words!
Breaking down how Wolfgang was drugged and may invalidate Diana's testimony. The question is, how did the killer drug him? Não! 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 Acredito. Eu espero que agora dê certo.
If we know where the perpetrator got...
Agreed. It would help us better understand the timeline of events and potentially even validate Diana's testimony.
Sounds like you guys can leave this one to me. I'm the kind of person who knows someone back to front the moment I meet them. If you haven't already realized, I've gone and read this killer like an open book.
You're the last person I trust to reach a correct conclusion.
Just you wait! The second you hear what I gotta say, you'll be eating those words!
Tá. Deu! Era só reiniciar o computador. Maravilha! Ainda tem salvação, gente. Calma.
I bet the killer took a pill and forced Wolfgang to swallow it.
Aham.
Just jab him at that point.
Sim!
How would the killer make him swallow a pill?
Olha, tá aqui, gente. Era só reiniciar o computador.
There was no proof they restrained him.
Didn't the killer knock Wolfie out? Maybe that was their way of restraining him.
You can't force an unconscious person to swallow a pill.
What if it was a drug you don't need to eat?
Like an inhalable substance?
Oh yeah, like a powder or something.
The pharmacy does have a large collection of over-the-counter sedatives, but there's too many for us to isolate any specific one.
Ah, entendi.
I bet the killer took a pill and forced Wolfgang to swallow it.
Just jab him at that point.
How would the killer make him swallow a pill? There was no proof they restrained him.
Didn't the killer knock Wolfie
Não, ele não
out?
bateu nele.
Maybe that was their way of restraining him.
Sério.
Force an unconscious person to swallow a pill.
What if it was a drug you don't need to eat?
Like an inhalable substance?
Oh yeah, like a powder or something.
The pharmacy does have a large collection of over-the-counter sedatives, but there's too many for us to isolate any specific one.
I bet the killer took a pill
Tá certo. Não, pera.
and forced Wolfgang to swallow it.
Just jab him at that point.
How would the killer make him swallow a pill? There was no proof they restrained him.
Didn't the killer knock Wolfie out? Maybe that was their way of restraining him.
You can't force an unconscious person
Pílula. Não,
to
não foi
swallow
pílula.
a pill.
What if it was a drug you don't need to eat?
Like an inhalable substance?
Like a powder or something.
Powder.
Pharmacy does have a large collection of
Pode
over-the-counter
ser o
sedatives.
Tuzul,
But there's too many for us to isolate any specific one.
tablet. Pode ser o Tuzul tablet.
I bet the killer took a pill.
Maybe that was their way of restraining him.
You can't force an unconscious person to swallow a pill.
What if it was a drug you don't need to eat?
Like an
Swallow é engolir. Ah, merda. Não. Vou continuar. Tá, vamos lá.
I bet the killer took a pill and forced Wolfgang to swallow it.
Just
É Jeff?
How would the killer make him swallow a pill? There was no proof they restrained him.
Didn't the killer knock Wolfie
Espetacular.
out? Maybe that was their way of restraining him.
you can't force an unconscious person to swallow a pill.
What if it was a drug you don't need to eat?
Like an inhalable substance?
Yeah, like a powder or something.
The pharmacy does have a large collection of over-the-counter sedatives, but there's too many for us to isolate any specific one.
Não, não foi pó. Tipo, que você cheira assim. Não, não foi pó. Acho que eu tô errado.
I bet the killer took a pill and forced Wolfgang to swallow.
Mas não tem evidência pra isso.
Just jab.
Ahá! Até esse ponto aí tava no chão. É! Tipo, todo mundo tá falando. Ele poderia ter tirado, poderia ter forçado a engolir.
It was mentioned he had a tiny red dot below the bruise on his neck.
O Mark era o único falando, mas ele já tava desmaiado, gente. Não dá pra fazer isso, entendeu? Todo mundo tava dizendo coisa que o Wolfgang poderia ter feito acordado. Mas o Mark disse, tipo, quando ele tava dormindo.
During the investigation, I thought this dot was a scab from a mole or pimple. Knowing Wolfgang was drugged, it's clear to see what it really is. A puncture wound.
Considering the timeline of events, an injection would check out. If Wolfgang got drugged a little after 8:15 a.m. and was already feeling the effects when Diana arrived at 8:45 a.m., then we're dealing with something which entered his bloodstream in under 30 minutes. Any normal pill would have taken, probably an hour to dissolve.
Whilst an injection would be much quicker. I see.
That's probably another reason why the killer knocked Wolfgang unconscious. It would have been incredibly difficult to inject him if he was still moving around. Only when they had him right where they wanted. Dazed and unable to fight back, did they plunge the syringe into his neck.
With said syringe being filled with a hallucinogenic.
But if this all happened a few minutes after 8:15 a.m., doesn't that make it impossible to pin a suspect?
What? Why is it impossible?
Because everybody's got an alibi for that time. I mean, Damon and I were in my dorm room, and the other party people...
8:15 a.m. Yeah, I was already in the dining hall with Jet, Mark, and Evo.
I left Wolfgang's dorm right after the morning announcement and spent the rest of the hour with Jean.
When Nona and I were in our dorm room together.
And me and Eloise were already sitting down in the courtyard.
Ah, estranho isso.
Toshiko was giving me the medication she grabbed from the pharmacy.
And, I stayed in my dorm room until 8:40 a.m.
Mas não era pra se botar 45?
Oh no. If everyone can be accounted for, we really can't assign a suspect.
So, we're back to square one?
Someone here must be lying.
And doesn't plan to stop.
O que tá acontecendo aqui? Esse mistério todo faz parte do que a gente tá pegando errado? It could be. We overlooking something. It was a rule of having no relation to the murder because the wires don't talk to the wire. But the position of it, the fact it destroyed it, the timing of blackout. One coincidence is easy to weigh, but when it's coincidence after coincidence after coincidence, then there's something more going on. There's something more to the degenerator.
If everyone has an alibi for 8:15 a.m., is it possible the killer never actually attacked Wolfie at that time? But his little note said to come by at 8:15 a.m., didn't it?
Ingrid, do you remember what you said when we couldn't figure out who stole Desmond's taser?
To be honest, I'm drawing a blank.
You suggested we switch subjects and discuss Wolfgang's injuries instead, which we did. As a result, we ended up unraveling more about the case than if we had stuck to the original topic. Right now, we're at a dead end. If we can't get any more leads out of this current discussion, then that's a sign to switch our focus.
Switch our focus to what?
I want to take another look at Diana's testimony.
Mine?
Back when you were describing Wolfgang's death, something stuck out to me.
Until everyone knows me as. And all of a sudden, everything turned white. Everything from me, except Wolfgang. And those who said he became big black. And then, so did anything else. Tá, essa era pra cair, agora esse
The flash
crack.
of white Diana described must have been the generator exploding, with the darkness afterwards being the blackout. Think about the order of events there. In just a few seconds, the boiler room's generator explodes, and Wolfgang falls over dead. Doesn't it sound like the two are correlated?
Oi, didn't we go over this already?
We did. The generator has nothing to do with Wolfgang's death. Its wires weren't touching the water.
Indeed, which is why the murder weapon is the taser gun.
Diana said she never used the taser, though.
Then she's lying!
What? That's not true! I never fired the gun!
It's all good. I believe you. Sure, nobody can dispute the gun was fired. What can be disputed, though, is when it got fired. I wouldn't be surprised if the killer fired that gun way in advance. Like, sometime before Wolfgang arrived downstairs and left it in the boiler room for us to find later.
What? So the taser gun isn't the murder weapon?
If Wolfgang wasn't killed with the taser gun or the generator, what other options are we left with?
The taser gun is the only option which makes sense. The murder weapon can't be anything else.
The true murder weapon. É possível que uma terceira fonte de energia que não temos considerado ainda? I'm grasping at the straws by thinking something like that.
And anyway, the only proof Diana never shot the taser is her own word.
Ava! What do you mean?
All the evidence supporting your version of events is circumstantial. The note you showed us? That could be a fake alibi you made for yourself. The fact that it has the same handwriting as Wolfgang's is already suspicious.
Couldn't that just mean the same person tricked them?
If you earnestly believe Diana didn't write it, then maybe. But do you see what I'm saying? There's no proof Diana never wrote the notes. There's only her word to go by. Because if she did write them, everything about her entering the boiler room at 8:45 a.m. and being locked inside could be a total lie.
I get what you're saying. But if we run with the idea that Diana was the one waiting for Wolfgang all the way back at 8:15 a.m., then we're stuck with the issue we had last time. Why did Diana wait over an hour to kill him?
That's also circumstantial. None of us know what really went on between those two in an hour. Ruling someone out because they took a long time to murder is stupid.
Without context? Sure, I'd say the same. but since the boiler room is unlocked, anyone can enter. If Diana knocked Wolfgang out, then she took over an hour to kill him with that info in mind.
Okay, but who would enter? No one wants to make a detour down some gross, freaky-looking basement. The boiler room is probably the most covert place a person can be.
The most covert place? Carol words don't make sense. After all, I chose to meet those in the room for that very same reason.
Diana claims she didn't write the notes, and she claims she didn't shoot the gun. But where's the hard proof she didn't do any of these things?
The answer lies in what destroyed the generator.
What?
Didn't we already talk about that?
All you guys did was discuss theories, never anything concrete. Settling for a theory isn't good enough when our lives are on the line. In the same way Ava can't rule out Diana's involvement in the case, we can't rule out the generators.
So we have to figure out what destroyed the generator? What should we do? Just throw out ideas?
It's what we've been doing this whole time.
Ah, esqueci de salvar aquele lá, né? Aquele não está... Eu vou lembrar agora. Eu juro, eu vou lembrar.
Oakley dokley. All right, everyone. Let's put our thinking hats on. If we work together, we'll unravel this mystery for sure. Ready? On your marks, get set, go! Why did the generator blow up?
Could have just been an electrical fault.
So, a coincidence?
Is this the best situation? To be waving stuff off as a coincidence?
Did the killer throw something at the generator that made it explode?
Perhaps it's the fault of the taser gun?
No.
The electrical discharge it released might have connected with the generator and created an overabundance of energy, which caused everything in the circuit to pop.
Probably. There's no proof anything besides the taser was involved.
In that case, the generator blew up after Wolfie got shot with the taser.
Such a dastardly taser, leaving so many victims in its wake.
Why did the generator blow up?
Could have just been an electrical fault.
So, a coincidence?
Is this the best situation? To be waving stuff off as a coincidence?
Did the killer throw something at the generator that made it
explode?
It's the fault.
No.
The electrical discharge it released might have connected with the generator and created an overabundance of energy, which caused everything in the circuit to pop.
Probably. There's
no proof anything
besides the
taser.
No, that's wrong!
Unfortunately, Ava, I have to disagree. You say nothing but the taser could have been involved in the murder. But there's one possibility you didn't consider. The shrapnel in the water.
You mean those bits of red metal which were floating around?
Right. The ones that look like the aftermath of an explosion. Due to their proximity to the generator, it's safe to assume the two are connected.
Can't that just be debris left by the generator?
Except this debris is a completely different color and lacks the rust the generator has accumulated. We're obviously looking at the remnants of something else, which means an object we haven't yet identified was caught in the explosion.
And flowing near that was another place item. Place item. Isso aqui?
This is it.
É.
In the water was also an extension cord, half of which had been burnt away.
Huh? Did the cord get caught in the explosion?
Seems that cord has the misfortune of floating around the wrong place at the wrong...
From what I saw in my investigation, the building's extension cord supply seems to be kept inside storage closet D. So in a way, yeah, it was definitely in the wrong place.
Storage closet D, huh? It was hard to make out much of it in the dark. And after the power came on, Kai came screaming for us to leave our closets. But I do recall seeing some extension cords peeking out from behind a shelf.
Since we already know the killer raided one storage closet, anyone else willing to bet they raided this one too?
The hell did they need an extension cord for?
Probably something involving the generator, given its proximity to the cord.
Same thing with the red bits, even though we don't know what they are.
Right. The head shepherd. At the finalism debris left by the generator. So, what exactly is it? So far, nothing in the boiler room can be directly tied to shepherd. At least, none of the clues that have already been discussed at this trial. If I were to flip my thinking, and consider the clues we haven't discussed yet. There's no proof I have in mind is related to Shepherd, but when all opinions are ruled out, I can only feel towards the one that has it. The one thinking is mysterious Shepherd might be related to okay. Isso aqui. A única outra coisa que não tem. Além disso.
This is it.
Yes!
Hold that thought. We may be able to identify the shrapnel using context clues. During the investigation, there was a strange smell permeating the boiler room. It took me a moment to notice, but when I did, well, the best way to describe the scent would be if you mix cereal and alcohol together.
Cereal and alcohol? Talk about specific.
Tis a sign a chemical reaction was at play.
Wait, you recognize the smell?
Chemical reactions can produce some pretty pungent odors. Usually something to the tune of alcohol mixed with cereal, or fruits, or eggs. I noticed the smell going into the investigation, but it had completely slipped my mind until now.
Could it be a chemical reaction was caused by the taser?
The gun never touched the water. There's no reason for it to be the source of the smell.
What about the generator?
Considering the state of it, that generator would smell more burnt than anything else.
If the chemical reaction can't be explained by what we already know, like the generator or the taser gun, we need to consider the possibility that the explanation is the one piece of evidence still evading us, the shrapnel.
Can someone translate this into less complicated talk?
It was just a long-winded way of saying he's using process of elimination.
I know it sounds like a stretch, but if you follow this line of reasoning, a lot more questions start getting answered.
Ah, eu esqueci, de novo. Eu juro que eu vou lembrar com uma hora.
Think about it. If the smell and shrapnel are linked, then whatever object the shrapnel belongs to must contain chemicals.
So we're looking for a metal object, which is also packed with chemicals?
Surely something like that would be kept inside the pharmacy.
Looking at my notes... When we originally visited the pharmacy, I recorded everything I saw. A bright red metal object would have definitely caught my eye, but I don't see one written here.
I got lots of metallic objects in my dorm room, but nothing chemical. Just big old slabs of metal.
Beg all the steps of Maya, though. Why does that sound so familiar? Hold on, that's right. What Ingrid just said now is similar to what she said the night everyone began working together. I guess this more to explain my room too. It lighted with all the sort of fancy tools and metals. At the time, people were talking about the rooms being themed around their talents. Could it be? Could the chapel actually be the remnants of the unique device that Guy boasted about having in his room? The only way to know for sure is to put you on the spot. Eu não tenho ideia. Tipo, não tenho ideia. Mas eu lembro que a resposta era o Jet. Tipo, vamos pensar. A tu achou que teria uma coisa assim no quartel? Não. E Ulisses? Não, mais coisa histórica. Com certeza não. Não, também. Pode ser. Não. É só coisa eletrônica, não química. Ela não é eletrônica com química. Ele? Só físico. Ela não. Ele também não. Ela já disse que não. Então, ela também não? Dengo não? O John não teria esse tipo de coisa. Nem a Eva, com certeza não. Mas quem teria alguma coisa química, elétrica, era ele. Então dava pra pensar dessa forma.
It has to be you! Jet, I need to ask you something.
What's up?
Can you tell me what's inside your dorm room?
Like, a full-on list?
Whatever works.
Sure thing. I got a pretty gnarly collection of parts and accessories. Blind spot mirrors, lithium batteries, wheels, spare brakes, you name it. Oh! I even have the legendary mantle from the 1984's Grand Prix winning speedster.
That's what I was hoping to hear.
Cool. So, why'd you want to know? Unless... Wait, I'm not being suspected, am I? No. Don't try to rope me into this, bro. I've got nothing to do with the murder.
I know you don't. You have an alibi. The only reason I ask is because that mysterious red shrapnel may be the remnants of one of your lithium batteries.
What?
I see. A lithium battery might explain the smell in the air.
And lithium? That's an explosive substance. If it made contact with water, gosh, you'd be left with a mess and a half.
Wouldn't someone have heard an explosion, though?
I did.
Really?
During the tournament. Right before we lost power.
Oi, that's right. That was a burn.
Wait! I remember hearing it too!
I initially assumed the generator made the noise somehow. But if Jet's car batteries contain an explosive substance...
Hey, Jet, were your batteries bright red at all?
Maybe?
You don't know for sure?
I never took the batteries out of their packaging. The packaging isn't red, I can tell you that, but the actual batteries? Yeah, I got nothing.
So it can't be proven beyond a reasonable doubt?
Pretty much.
Well, what's the reaction time of a lithium battery?
The reaction time?
When a lithium battery hits the water, how long does it take to combust? I think, once we know that, we can decide whether or not the battery is relevant to the case.
A lithium battery would be an almost instantaneous reaction, I'm pretty sure.
Lithium isn't a metal I've worked with, but it got beat into my head never to mix it with substances it doesn't like. All that electricity, the battery would have let out when it hit the water. It must have went straight into poor Wolfie.
There's warning labels on the battery for a reason.
Okay, if the reaction is instantaneous, then the battery would have entered the water only seconds before the generator exploded. That's really weird.
Is it?
According to Diana's testimony, when the explosion happened, she was still holding the taser gun. In which case, who threw the battery into the water?
Huh. Good point. We can rule out Wolfgang, since the Blackens can only be a student who kills another student. And Diana.
It was only Diana and Wolfgang in the boiler room, so unless Diana herself was the one to throw the battery, then the battery can't play a part in the murder.
I didn't throw the battery! I promise!
A bateria tava lá. Pronto. Aí ela chutou, ela pegou assim, jogou. Aí Wolfgang. Mas tava lançando, então ele podia ter ficado na água ainda. The chopper and the generator are too close for comfort. They must be corrected. I admit that Diana throwing the battery is a possibility, but that's out the possibility. There may still be another way to the battery to enter the water, and until I rule that out, I'm not set for a corporate just yet. Vou lembrar agora. Extension cord.
If the battery is related to the case, only Diana could have thrown it in the water.
Tá certo. Só
My
de
arm had
ali.
been cut! Lifting a battery would hurt too much!
Neo batteries are pretty lightweight, though.
The battery clearly couldn't have fallen from somewhere, so it must have been submerged another way. Perhaps something akin to what Eva described?
If that battery is the murder weapon, why is there a taser gun?
Maybe it's a red herring.
Judging by the shrapnel, the battery would have landed in the water, a few inches from the generator.
Not the hardest shot to make.
Everybody is quick to say the battery was thrown, but when you consider the room and which objects the killer could ever reach, what if that person considers it impossible to start to sound anything? But
if the battery is related to the case, only Diana could have thrown it in the water.
But my arm had been cut! Lifting a battery would hurt too much!
Neo batteries are pretty lightweight, though.
The battery clearly couldn't have fallen from somewhere. So it must have been submerged. Now is not the time for jokes!
If the battery is related to the case, only Diana could have thrown it in the water.
But my arm had been cut! Lifting a battery would hurt too much!
Neo batteries are pretty lightweight, though.
The battery clearly couldn't have fallen from somewhere. So it must have been submerged another way. Perhaps something akin to what Eva described? If that battery is the murder weapon, why is there a taser gun? Maybe it's a red herring. Judging by the shrapnel, the battery would have landed in the water, a few inches from the generator. Not the hardest shot to make. If the battery is related to the case, only Diana could have thrown it in the water. But my arm had been cut! Lifting a battery would hurt too much!
só a Diana
Neo
pode
batteries
jogar.
are pretty lightweight, though.
The battery clearly couldn't have fallen from somewhere.
No, that's wrong!
Claro que pode cair. Só a Diana podia jogar.
No.
Agora
The
a
battery
bateria
might actually
cair.
have fallen from the generator.
What makes you say that?
The shrapnel's position in front of the generator suggests there's a correlation between the two. However, it's unlikely Diana threw the battery at the generator. Not only is the boiler room difficult to see in, the generator is positioned far enough from the concrete platform that Diana, with her wounded arm, will need to stand on the platform's edge to make the shot, which would obviously put her in danger of being attacked by Wolfgang again.
Yeah. Wolfgang was really close. He could reach over to me if he wanted.
If the battery hadn't been thrown, the only other possibility is that it fell down into the water.
Lembrei. Tá melhor.
Considering the layout of the boiler room, what else could the battery fall off of? Except the generator.
Are you saying the battery was sitting on top of the generator?
Not on top, but maybe. What position was the battery? Suspended over the generator, leaning over the generator, feeding up over the generator.
I got it.
The battery may have been suspended over the generator.
Suspended over.
Oh, okay. If the battery was suspended by something, then the presence of that item start to make it a lot of messes. Agora.
This is it.
The killer could have tied the extension cord around the battery and slung the battery over the generator. If the cord and battery were tied together at the time of the generator's explosion, it would explain why half of the cord had been burned away.
The more you explain it, the more unbelievable it sounds.
What if that's the point? Maybe the killer chose a crazy method because no one would believe it.
I don't see how weaving a cord into the mix is any more beneficial than leaving it out. If anything, the cord adds extra weight.
Which would be especially inconvenient for Diana, because her arm was bleeding.
Right. It wouldn't benefit Diana to hold the cord. So, what if she didn't? Something else may have been supporting the cord instead.
Something like... What was holding the cord?
I got it.
Objettava.
Throughout this trial, we've assumed the killer held the battery in some form or another. If the battery was on its own, the killer tossed it in. If the battery was wrapped with a cord, the killer held the other end of the cord. But in the same way something else can hold the battery, can't something else also hold the cord?
Ugh, my head's starting to spin.
Minha
Are
também.
you talking about something which could keep the cord in place?
Taram.
This is it.
The killer tied the cord to the vent.
What vent?
The one above the generator. It connects the boiler room and the dining hall.
There's a vent above the generator?
You should remember some light shining into the boiler room. That's where the vent is. The vent itself is set a bit far back into the wall. So, you probably assumed the spot was a small window or something.
If the boiler room and the dining hall are separated by one vent, does this make the wallpaper thin, or...?
There's two vents. The boiler room vent and the dining hall vent. Both are connected via a small ventilation shaft. I was able to get a close look at the boiler room vent after Ava and I woke up, which is why I know these details.
How close is close for someone under 6 foot?
Ava helped me reach the vent.
By?
Letting me sit on her shoulders.
Quite the visual.
Don't worry about it.
Anyway, if the killer tied one end of the cord to the vent and the other end around the battery, they could suspend the battery over the generator.
Something like that would result in an explosion.
What do you mean?
You say the killer tied one end of the cord to the vent and the other end to the battery. However, indoor extension cords are much longer than regular cords. They can be upwards of 9 or more meters in length, as opposed to the average cord's 2 meters. 9 meters is significantly longer than the distance between the vent and the boiler room floor. If the killer wanted to tie the battery to the cord's other end, they would be tying it to something which is already submerged in water.
I see. It is an impossible setup.
Necessary. The killer can have really reduced the length of the cord, but doing that. Cutting. Cortando a corda.
Cut the cord using what exactly?
The scissors? That's what anyone would use, right?
And where exactly did these scissors come from?
Could have been the storage closets. They're packed with tons of stuff, so...
Well, I've been through those closets twice now, and I never saw scissors.
Okay.
Not even pliers?
I didn't see pliers either.
Could the cord have been cut with Wolfie's knife?
You believe the victim set up the murder trap?
So this whole thing was a suicide mission?
Wrapping cord around the bathroom.
I got it.
Yeah, wrapping.
The extension cord is pretty thin and flimsy. If the killer wanted the battery to be secure, they need to wrap a lot of cord around it. Probably to the point there wouldn't be much spare cord remaining.
Ah, tava perguntando como poderia deixar mais curto. Ah, tá.
Which is a good thing, because this spare cord is what the battery will be suspended by. So long as the spare cord isn't too long, the battery will sit safely above the water.
So much effort.
Agreed. How do you even submerge the battery into the water under those circumstances?
By adjusting the cord's position, all the killer would need to utilize is a certain aspect of the boiler room. Qual era a pergunta? What did the killer use to adjust? Ah, tá. Não sei. Pera, calma. A palavra é como ele pode ajustar. Não. Com a ventania? Com a tubulação? É a única coisa que eu consigo pensar.
This is it.
É.
Like I mentioned earlier, I gave the vent a close look after originally waking up in the boiler room. Part of my inspection included opening the vent to get a better look at the other side.
The vent can be opened?
Not all the way, but far enough for the vent to cause a domino effect if then closed. In our case, a domino effect involving the extension cord tied to it. If we assume the vent must be open for the battery to remain a safe distance above the water, we end up with a pulley system. To prevent the battery from entering the water, the vent is literally pulling the entire cord backwards. Ergo, it's not just the killer's own measurements keeping the battery in place, but the vent itself. Having opened one of these vents before, I can tell you how tough they are to move. A lightweight battery definitely isn't heavy enough to pull one shut. It takes an actual person to close one, which is great for the killer, because it means they get to maintain full control over when the battery enters the water. If they close the vent, the cord should slide forward and submerge the battery into the water. When that happens, the boiler room water becomes electrified by the battery's components, which in turn causes electricity to pass directly into the body of Wolfgang, who is standing in the water.
Exactly which vent is the cord being tied to?
The boiler room vent.
Funny. Earlier, you said there's a small vent shaft connecting the boiler room vent to the dining hall vent. Assuming the killer is operating this trap from outside the boiler room, since we know there were only ever 2 people in that room, how would they even be able to reach the boiler room vent? Like you said, there's a separate vent in front of it.
She has a point. I've been assuming the cord is tied to the boiler room vent. But if I consider the ventilation shaft, it becomes considerably harder to reach the boiler room vent if you have to reach down that shaft first. Not just that, I have tested to see if the boiler room can open inwards. I only got to open outwards. By that logic, I went on the opposite side of the shaft.
This could only mean one thing. The killer never tied the cord to the boiler room vent. They tied the cord to the dining hall vent.
That just creates the same problem as before, but reversed. Instead of the dining hall vent making it hard to close the boiler room vent, it's the boiler room vent making it hard to reach the dining hall vent.
While the vents may seem like an obstruction, especially since they can't be opened all the way, there's a very easy workaround. All the killer needs to do is fit the extension cord between the grates of the boiler room vent.
Oh yeah, the grates. You mentioned something about them earlier. Right, when you described opening the boiler room vent. If you can fit your fingers between the grates, there's no damn way you can't fit a cord.
Exactly. After which, you could slide the cord through the ventilation shaft and out the opposite end for the killer to then go and tie to the...
Actually...
Plaza.
Hello?
Hello.
What is it now?
There's something I still don't understand about your theory.
Eu também não entendo. Eu tô com é por isso que eu tô com o Ulysses aqui.
It's to do with the logistics of the cord.
The logistics?
Its size.
A gente vai voltar nessa discussão de novo? Esquece, eu vou encontrar um jeito de acabar com o argumento dele. Prepare o shutdown.
I understand the boiler room vent can be opened. Maybe not all the way, but enough to fit an extension cord through. What's bothering me, however, is that the boiler room vent was closed during the investigation, which means it must have been closed during the murder.
Não entendi o que ele quer dizer.
I understand the boiler room vent can be opened.
Sim.
Maybe not all the way, but enough to fit an extension cord through. What's bothering me, however, is that the boiler room vent was closed during the investigation, which means it must have been closed during the murder.
I don't see a problem here. The killer doesn't even need to open that vent, because they could simply slide the cord between the grates.
Indoor extension cords may be thin, but the plugs on either side of them aren't. How can the killer fit both those plugs between the gaps in the vent grate? Either the boiler room vent was never involved, or it was open at some point, and someone else closed it. That is my issue.
Botão direito. Qual é tapadas que eu tenho aqui.
Indoor extension cords may be thin, but the plugs on either side of them aren't. How can the killer fit both those plugs between the gaps in the vent grate? Either the boiler room vent was never involved, or it was open at some point, and someone else closed it. That is my issue. Indoor extension cords may be thin, but the plugs on either side of them aren't. How can the killer fit both those plugs between the gaps in the vent grate? Either the boiler room vent was never involved, or it was open at some point, and someone else closed it. That is my issue. Indoor extension cords may be thin, but the plugs on either side of them aren't. How can the killer fit both those plugs between the gaps in the vent?
Talvez seja isso? Não.
If there were no gaps, how did you even open the vent in the first place?
Pera, o quê?
Indoor extension cords may be thin, but the plugs on either side of them aren't.
But the plugs on either side aren't in... Hã?
How can the killer fit both those plugs between the gaps in the vent grate? If there were no gaps, indoor extension cords may be thin, but the plugs on either side of them aren't.
Será que é isso aqui?
How can the killer fit both those plugs between the gaps in the vent grate? If there were no... Indoor extension cords may be thin, but the plugs on either side of them aren't.
I'll cut through those words!
Pode ter sido cortado.
If you insert the cord through the boiler room vent first, it's possible to fit the cord through. You just need to start with the internal plug.
O plug interno.
The cords in storage closet D have a slim internal end. This can easily be slid through the gaps in the vent. Once the killer ties the cord around the dining hall vent, presumably with a knot, the cord won't be at risk of sliding back out either.
O que a gente achou aqui... Deixa eu ver. Aqui, ó. O que a gente achou tá com o terminal dele, o do grosso. Mas o do plug interno, ele é mais fino e consegue passar pelos plugs, já que conseguiu passar o dedo do Damon, que é gigante. Se não for meu dedo...
I see. When put like that,
é porque meu dedo é pequeno, gente.
Whether or not the boiler room vent was closed isn't really relevant.
Porque o dedo é pequenininho, minha mão é pequenininha, então por isso que eu tô dizendo isso.
How'd you figure all this out from some shrapnel and an extension cord? This is crazy.
Yes.
At the same time, what he's describing sounds plausible.
Since the battery was suspended over the generator, it's no surprise the machine ended up the way it did.
Ah, é. Não lembrei. Ai, que bosta. Oxe, o que é isso? Ah, tá.
Fortunately for Diana, she was safe by virtue of remaining on the platform. I imagine that was also the killer's intention.
The killer kept her on the platform?
They must have known they were injecting Wolfgang with a hallucinogenic. So, it's possible they hoped his behavior would scare Diana off from entering the water. Although, even if Diana did die, the moment people realized only she and Wolfgang entered the boiler room, they probably call the whole thing a murder gone wrong.
Well, all of this certainly changes things.
Huh?
If the killer is someone who needed access to the vent, and needed to be operating from the dining hall. Then everyone who attended the tournament is a suspect.
What?
No way!
Todo mundo que tava no torneio pode ser assassino? Droga! Como é que eu não percebi isso antes? De fato, o assassino que tava... o assassino pode ser quem tava acessando a tubulação. Isso significa que deve ser quem tava no Dining Hall, pode ser o assassino.
So we can reduce it down to 8 people. Damon, Kai, Grace, Eva, Cassidy, Jed, Mark, and John.
Olha!
It was probably Cassidy. She set the whole thing up.
Hey, I was only trying to improve the mood.
It wasn't me. I was playing a game with Damon when the lights went out.
Oops.
I had to play music.
Tadinho.
Me too.
Huh?
You never touched my equipment.
I meant I was watching Kai and Damon play.
I was spectating as well.
Me too.
Me 3. And Cass 2. I think.
Me free.
I was too focused on the game to remember who was or wasn't there.
If everyone's telling the truth, then all 8 of y'all were crowded round the same spot?
Near the right wall where the TV was set up. It's also the furthest wall from the vent.
Seems like someone is lying again.
E não pretende parar. A participação no torneio de quem estava perto da ventania poderia deduzir quem a pessoa seria para determinar a posição de todo mundo diretamente antes do apagão. O problema é, eu mesmo tenho me preocupado com o jogo. Eu não dei uma boa olhada de fato às pessoas que estavam perto de mim. Nunca. Não dei uma boa olhada. Espera, o que é isso? Enquanto eu nunca dei uma boa olhada nos outros, eu posso ainda deduzir pela localização que eles estavam. E se eles estavam perto de mim, me ouvindo. Mas de qualquer modo, onde eu estava, eu consegui ouvir eles. Pensa, Damon, pensa. Quem eu estava perto que eu pude ouvir? Foi você. A única pessoa que eu nunca ouvi. Foi você. Ops. Oi, Eva. Eu não me lembro de você, Eva. Sabe?
It has to be you!
You!
The killer is Ava.
Huh?
Ava's the only one whose position I can't account for. Mark was mixing a track at the time Kai and I were playing a game, so I know he must have been stationed at his pad. And everyone else? I remember hearing their voices over the sound of the game. Everyone. Except
Ava.
In fact, the last I saw her, she was standing in the corner of the room with the vent.
So Ava flipped the vent?
Oh man! And the reason no one heard it is because the music was too loud!
Don't blame me. I was just doing what I was told.
No one's blaming you. We're all in on Eva.
Care to contribute anything, Eva?
Caraca, a Diana tá completamente decepcionada.
I didn't flip the vent.
Tá bom.
Well, Damon says you did.
Damon says a lot of things.
While you aren't technically wrong, I don't think that counts as an argument.
Uhul! Arrasou!
His theory is full of plot holes. He just refuses to point them out.
What plot holes?
Que furos de roteiro?
The cord.
What?
In retrospect, you were so quick to accuse me that you overlooked a huge problem with the cord. If I'm the killer, how did I dispose of it?
Trick question. You left the cord tied to the vent.
What then? It unraveled by itself and fell into the water?
Yeah, you got me there.
Como que a Eva conseguiu se livrar da corda? I'm sure it's possible if she knew to untie at the right time. When did Eva untie the cord? Durante o blackout, né?
I got it.
Durante o apagão.
To dispose of the cord, you just untied it during the blackout.
Olha o hit, gente. Esse soundtrack é muito legal. Tem que vomitar por
Tied a knot during a blackout?
Being the one who set up the trap, Ava could have easily practiced untying the knot in advance. Or she just made it a really simple knot. Either way, it wouldn't be any more difficult than untying your shoelaces with your eyes closed.
If Ava untied the cord, did it also fall into the water?
Diana's testimony says as much.
It does?
During your confrontation with Wolfgang, you recounted hearing certain sounds.
Eles têm que passar várias vezes. Tem que passar várias vezes. Isso aqui foi absoluto cinema. Eles têm que passar várias vezes.
The first sound was obviously the battery exploding. And the second, when you first recounted the story, you said it was the sound of the knife hitting the water. But why would a thin knife make such a big splash?
Then, do you think...
What really caused that sound was probably the extension cord falling into the water.
When you say it that way, it does seem likelier.
I should have known. The kid who lied about her talents and tried to lie about the Tozy trinkets. I should have known. I should have known only Eva fucking Sadaka would kill Wolfgang!
You're right that Eva's lied to us several times already.
But she's just a mathlete. How did someone like her come up with something this complicated?
Whoops.
Her talent would give her the upper hand in all that measurement nonsense.
Even so, the sheer volume of items Eva had to steal. She's been under heavy suspicion these past few days. How did she sneak into Jet and Desmond's rooms without being noticed?
It's impossible. Wolfgang even got mad at me for being late to the dining hall by a few minutes. I've been watched the entire time I've been here. There's no way Jet wouldn't have noticed me taking his battery.
Right on! No one steals from me!
They already did.
And anyway, how could I enter the cord through the boiler room vent when I can't even reach the top of the generator? If anything, you should be suspicious of the taller students.
Não entendo por que as pessoas estão duvidosas, mas eu não posso deixar que as conversas continuem assim. A Eva fez, de fato, tem um jeito de conseguir alcançar a tripulação. Ela só tinha que usar essas caixinhas aqui.
This is it. Ava, to reach the top of the generator, you simply stood on one of the boxes in the boiler room. There's already a huge pile of them near the generator itself. You could easily push one up against the machine.
Ah, she would have known about those boxes in advance, too. Since she explored the boiler room with you ahead of time.
Okay, I could have used the boxes to reach the top of the generator. And I could have fit the cord through both vents if I inserted the right plug. I can do both of those things without attracting suspicion. What I can't do without attracting suspicion is opening the vent.
Which vent are we talking about?
The dining hall one. Based on what Damon's saying, it needs to be opened for the killer's trap to work. But opening it during the tournament is asking to be caught, and opening it before the tournament is useless because Jet, Cassidy, and Mark would see it while setting up.
Oh yeah, you're right. If there was an open vent with a cord tied to it, I would have noticed for sure.
Now that Eva mentions it, I'm pretty sure the vent was closed during setup.
Pois é. A ventilação estava fechada.
See, there's no way I can execute this trap without being caught. It's a stupid trap anyway. All the cord and vent stuff is too complicated. There's a billion ways it could go wrong. Damon's just making stuff up. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
What the? That's bullshit!
Can it, you four-eyed troll! Can't talk your way out of this one!
Shit.
The only person who would be sick-minded enough to kill Wolfgang is you and only you! Don't you fucking try and tell me otherwise!
Arrasa! Tá bom, eu gosto de você também, Grace. É isso, gente. Não, spoilers true. Spoilers true.
You can't say I'm the murderer just because I sat near a vent.
It seems to be pretty good evidence to me.
Wolfgang exposed you for the snake you are, and you despised him because of it. You have a motive!
Perhaps our understanding of the mechanism is wrong? Maybe it wasn't closing the vent that triggered it, but something else?
Do you have any evidence to prove that?
Even if this trap was used, you can't guarantee it operated the way Damon described.
How so?
Well, the battery could have been tied to the extension cord, with a special knot which can untie by itself, after a bit of time passes.
There's even less evidence for that!
Evidence? No one here cares about evidence. I just happened to be at the game tournament, and now you're saying I'm a killer.
Never mind. What I said before. Focus on the fact. I just need to focus.
You can't say I'm the murderer just because I sat near a vent.
It seems to be pretty good evidence to me.
Wolfgang exposed you for the snake you are, and you despised him because of it. You have a motive!
Perhaps our understanding of the mechanism is wrong? Maybe it wasn't closing the vent that triggered it, but something else?
Do you have any evidence to prove that?
Even if this trap was used, you can't guarantee it operated the way Damon described.
How so?
Well, the battery could have been tied to the extension cord, with a special knot which can untie by itself, after a bit of time passes.
No.
There's even less evidence for that!
Evidence? No one here cares about evidence. I just happen to be at the game tournament.
Só pode ser isso.
No. It's no coincidence you were at the game tournament. In fact, it's not even a coincidence the tournament took place during the murder.
What do you mean?
It was impossible for me to notice this earlier, but the killer timed the tournament so it would grant them an alibi for the murder.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Are you accusing me of murder again? I thought you said Ava was the culprit.
Ninguém tava falando de ti, mano.
The detective isn't supposed to switch suspects in the last stretch like this. You're totally throwing the audience for a loop, and not in a good way.
Except neither of you played a role in determining what time the tournament would be held. The only person to determine that was Ava.
Ela sugeriu o horário.
Ava knew she would be in the dining hall tomorrow. So when Cassidy announced the tournament, she realized it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to create an alibi for herself.
That's insane. How could she have come up with something like that on the spot?
It wasn't just for an alibi either. Since Ava knew about the tournament, she could time the setup of her trap accordingly.
Pra responder a pergunta do porquê a Cassidy também não marca os Jets não terem percebido a tubulação aberta, quando eu voltei para o que a Cassidy me disse mais cedo hoje, antes do torneio começar, eu posso discernir o que exatamente a Eva, quando a Eva abriu. When did you... Só se for.
I got it. Cassidy, you told me Ava approached you yesterday and asked to help set up the tournament. What exactly did she say?
When did I tell you this again?
Before the tournament?
Oh, now I remember. Yeah, Eva wanted to see what sort of equipment the tournament needed. After I showed her Mark's stuff and told her we were redecorating the dining hall, she offered to help.
Back when this conversation happened, you still hadn't decided what time you were going to start redecorating, right?
Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing. Eva really helped me out, though. She said she would stack the dining hall furniture we weren't going to use later that night. Afterwards, we could focus purely on arranging the technical stuff in the morning.
All right. Then tell me what happened last night.
Jet, Mark, Eva, and I came to the dining hall at around 8:40 p.m. probably. We stacked the table and the dining chairs against the left wall, and the sofas we moved to the middle of the room, maybe a little more to the right. Then we all went back to our dorms. Well, I was kind of hungry, so I stayed back a few minutes before leaving.
Hold the phone! If those sofa chairs were moved to the middle of the room, why did I see one over in the corner this morning?
Because Eva pushed it there.
Eva what?
She didn't want to take part in the tournament. Just watch it from the side. That's what she told me. I never thought it was weird or anything. Some people just like sticking to the walls of rooms, you know?
We're talking about the sofa in the upper left corner, aye? The one next to the coffee table.
Yes, sirree, Bob.
Yo, when the power went out, I'm pretty sure Damon ran over to that corner to look through. Yeah, a vent!
Did she move the chair there so it would be easier to reach the vent later?
Why would I when Cassidy just said the vent was closed during setup?
Because you were covering for yourself in advance.
Huh?
The vent may not have been open at the time, but I'm willing to bet that's because you were still creating your trap.
In what way?
Let's say Ava took a detour for the boiler room first, and slid the internal plug through both vents, after going upstairs and helping rearrange the dining hall furniture, during which she moves a sofa chair so it obscures the vent. She heads outside and hides until everyone else goes to bed. Then, she walks back in and opens the vent.
So Eva took complete advantage of them?
Not my fault those two are so trusting.
You think a big guy like me was gonna be afraid of some mathlete? No way!
I mean, she did lie about a lot of important things. Her talent being one of them.
She also cried and fled the scene after we found out, no?
I just thought it was cool. She wanted to help me out.
Hey, can we backtrack a little? Like, to before all this Ava talk?
Why? What happened?
It's to do with the chair's
Association?
You guys keep saying it was in front of the vent, but Damon stood in front of the vent during the blackout. If the chair was in the position you all say it was, it should have blocked him from crouching in front of the vent.
Ava probably just moved it during the blackout.
Durante? Sem nenhum ruído. Sem ninguém perceber.
It was positioned with its back to the left wall. However, when I ran over to the vent, the chair was suddenly pushed up against the northern wall, out of the vent's range.
Mas pelo desespero ali, eu acho que ninguém percebeu
Ava
ali.
shifted the chair while everyone was initially panicking from the blackout. I'm guessing she hoped people would misremember its position and think it was always along the northern wall.
Oh man! So I totally fell for it?
Yes.
I also remember seeing a speaker in that corner.
Yeah, about that. This morning, Jet, Mark, and I arrived at the dining hall a little after 8 a.m., then Eva came a few minutes later. She helped us put together Mark's equipment, which was stationed in the lower right corner of the room. And then she volunteered to place speakers around the room while Jet and I set up the TV next to the fireplace.
Ai, quando é que eu vou lembrar? Que merda. Eu sempre esqueço de fazer isso. Dessa vez eu demorei. Tava concentrado.
Moving a speaker near the vent. Did Eva do that to drown out Diana and Wolfgang's scuffle?
Yeah, and in turn exacerbate the effects of the other speakers. There were almost a dozen spread throughout the dining hall, some even sandwiched into corners they didn't need to be. Ava probably placed them that way to cover as much ground as possible.
Still. Eva entered the dining hall at 8:10 a.m., right? So, wouldn't it be impossible for her to knock out Lawyer Man at 8:15 a.m.?
According to Ava, she arrived around 8:10 a.m., but it's possible she actually arrived much later. Since there's no clock in the dining hall, he just couldn't have known. In fact, that might be why Ava seemed so eager to arrange Mark's equipment in the morning. Upon realizing it had a clock, she wanted to ensure it would only be powered on after she arrived.
It seems the setup of this trap occurred across 3 phases. Phase 1 took place in the boiler room and involved tying a lithium battery to an extension cord. The cord was then slid through the grates of the closed boiler room vent, presumably until it almost poked out the other end of the ventilation shaft. Phase 2, by contrast, was carried out in the dining hall. The aforementioned cord was tied around the dining hall vent, which was then left open. This must have happened after Cassidy, Mark, and Jet were already done redecorating. For the third and final phase, the battery was carefully suspended over the generator. The aforementioned cord was tied around the dining hall vent, which was then left open. This must have happened after Cassidy, Mark, and Jet were already done redecorating.
For the third and final phase, the battery was carefully suspended off the generator.
All these steps combined created a pulley system, which could only be triggered by closing the dining hall vent. Is there anything I'm missing?
How I closed the vent.
Huh?
Pera, a caneta que ele escreve é o que ele tem pendurado no pescoço. Que legal, agora que eu percebi.
No one has explained how I closed the dining hall vent.
Oops.
Obviously, I didn't do it during the blackout. According to Damon, the blackout can only happen after the vent is closed. So, I must have stood up, gone behind the chair, and closed the vent during the tournament. That's stupid. Someone is definitely going to notice that sort of conspicuous movement. It doesn't matter if that someone is on the opposite side of the room. They're going to notice.
How did we overlook such an obvious discrepancy?
Eva's right. Standing up would look really suspicious. Which is exactly why she used that to circumvent the problem. The chair.
This is it. The location of your chair bypasses this problem entirely. To close the vent, all you need to do is set the chair to recline and reach behind you.
Set the chair to recline?
All the dining hall chairs have the ability to recline. Some were already set to that position at the start of the tournament, including Ava's. With her chair in recline, Ava can easily reach down and close the vent without shifting from her position. It's not perfectly inconspicuous, but it's subtle enough to not catch most people's attention, especially those focused on watching a video game competition.
Verdade. E aí, Eva?
Well, am I wrong?
This isn't funny. Just because I was sitting in front of the vent doesn't mean I was the one who triggered the mechanism.
No one can sneak up behind you without drawing attention, especially when all the lights were still on.
That's just dumb! Where I was sitting shouldn't make me a murderer.
Even so, with everything we've spoken about...
Everything? Did you already forget what was said earlier? Just look at all the items I would need to set up this murder. The battery, the extension cord, the rolling pin, the taser, the syringe, and the supposed drug used with it. How could I have collected all of those things? Wolfgang and everyone else hated me because I lied about my talent. They were on their guard whenever I was around. You think Jet and Desmond would just let me walk into their rooms and take their stuff?
That's true. We still haven't explained how she robbed 2 people's rooms without being caught.
Sim, isso é verdade, gente. Odeia.
Unless you can prove I had the chance to get all this stuff, you can't make me out to be the killer.
Fine. I'll show proof. Only you could obtain the items necessary for this murder.
Bora. Tinha.
It was obvious from the start. You had my blackmail.
Não, o meu
How
não!
does that connect to Desmond or Jet in any way?
Ai, meu Deus, não é isso. Eva had Desmond blackmail.
I got it.
Eva asked nicely.
Ava, you were well aware of the existence of those items. For starters, everyone heard about Jet's battery. It was common knowledge due to his boasting.
Wait, so it's all my fault? Ouch.
Você não sabia que isso ia acontecer, então você só estava sendo você. E você não foi informal.
Since the dorms aren't locked, you could have easily snuck in and grabbed the battery while no one was inside. The battery is lightweight too, so you wouldn't have trouble carrying it. For the rest of your plan, the syringe and drugs are both readily available in the pharmacy. And as for the taser, you may not have known about its existence right away, but you still had every incentive to search Desmond's room, because you received his blackmail.
Eva? You knew my blackmail this whole time and never said anything?
So what?
Huh?
So what if I knew? I wasn't the only one. Damon knew your blackmail as well.
Oh, yeah. He read it out loud to everyone earlier, didn't he?
Damon knew almost everything I did. He knew where the items used in this murder were stored. He knew the layout of the boiler room and the storage closets. He knew all sorts of things.
Oops.
The only thing he didn't know is the one thing more important than any piece of physical evidence.
Oxe?
The hell are you talking about?
See, you still don't know. You still don't know that we never saw eye to eye.
Huh?
Eye to eye... on the not killing each other stuff?
On Wolfgang. Damon saw the way Wolfgang scolded me and treated me like a bad guy, and he thought I hated him the same way he did. But unlike Damon, I never wanted Wolfgang to die.
What the?
Whoa! That's a loaded accusation.
Né?
Not a first for this trial.
If you thought you saw the worst of Damon after the dummy trial, you underestimate just how low he can stoop. I practically risked my life pretending to be his ally. But in return, he let me see the extent of his deceitfulness. Which is why I can tell everyone that Damon has Wolfgang's blackmail.
Putz! Putz!
Oh gosh!
Tudo que ela diz faz sentido agora. Eva, você!
Any reason you didn't tell us this earlier?
Well, I didn't think it was incriminating at first.
Not even when he refused to come forward about it?
That was weird, but I didn't want to make accusations at the time because it could have just been his ego talking. Only after watching him reject the taser gun over this dumb mechanism he made up did I realize I had potential evidence on my hands.
Damon, do you have your blackmail on you? Don't worry about reading it out loud or anything. Just show the image. That's all you gotta do.
And why didn't she disclose so much to me? Why did she tell me? Né? No, this can't be front off my mind right now. On the cusp of bringing this case to close, what Eva thinks about me shouldn't matter. O que ela pensa sobre mim? Você ficou do meu lado desde o começo, lembra? Mas éramos as únicas pessoas que recusaram escutar aquele advogado. E eu devo tudo a você. Me desculpa se eu deixei as coisas ruins. Eu não queria tratar você de uma forma tão ruim, sabe? Droga! Esse tempo todo eu estive julgando as pessoas como confiando nelas. E agora, não só percebendo, eu estava cego seguindo as palavras de um estranho. E agora, todo mundo aqui is gonna hold this blackmail grab against me. Even more if it just come forward earlier. Even so, what a choice do I have? No one let this discussion continue unless I tell the truth.
Fine. I'll show it.
Ele é muito desconfiado, credo. Mas o questionamento que ele levanta agora aqui é: como é que uma pessoa pode vazar coisa assim pra gente? Mas que se bem que ela chegou assim do nada, tipo, tará, sabe? Ela manipulou tudo aquilo ali no momento do nada. Não é que nem a Diana, que o tempo todo ela se mostrou ser assim, mesmo antes do assassinato ocorrer. Ela sempre se mostrou assim, antes do prólogo. Ela sempre se mostrou assim. Por isso que o Damon ficou com um negócio no coração dele, no peito dele. Com a Eva, ela se mostrou agora uma pessoa super, mega, ultra desconfiada. Não dá pra te colocar emoção nisso. Não tem lógica emocional aqui, entendeu?
But only the picture. As requested.
With this word, I retrieved the envelope from my pocket. And I pulled out the photo.
He's married?
No.
Ingrid, Wolfgang doesn't have blue eyes.
So, who is this then? His parents?
I mean, why else would the guy look like him?
Given the year this photo was taken, these two people must be his parents. Look at what's printed at the bottom. April 17th, 2001.
Não faz sentido. O jogo se passa em 2023. O Wolfgang tem 22 anos. Então ele nasceu em 2001. Só que já tá em abril. Abril é 4, né? 4 mais 9. 13. Era pra ela já tá... Já era pra ela estar em gestação. Alguma coisa assim. Olha a data de nascimento do Wolfgang. Tá, ele morreu, tá. Decised. Outubro de 22. Olha o intervalo entre os dois tempos. Ele pode ter nascido de prematuro, realmente. Mas outubro é o quê? Mês 10. Então tem 6 meses. Você tá me dizendo que ele nasceu de 6 meses? Tem como isso acontecer? Deixa eu pesquisar aqui. Calma. Calma que eu vou pesquisar. Eu estou indignado com isso, calma. Sim, gente, dá pra nascer de 6 meses e... dá pra sobreviver e desenvolver. Então deixa pra lá.
We know how old Wolfgang is because of the student reports. In 2001, he wasn't even born yet.
Não? É, não.
But why his parents? Are they being held against their will?
You can't leave us hanging, Damo! You gotta read out what it says!
That's not what was asked of me. And even if I had to, I don't think someone who can't explain himself should have his secrets revealed to everyone.
Some things are better left unsaid.
For the record, I know what Wolfgang's blackmail says, but it didn't change my outlook on him. I don't think it's possible for anyone to hate someone like Wolfgang. He was always brave in the face of sheer adversity, and encouraged everyone else to act likewise. Wolfgang challenged me to be a better person. Wolfgang challenged all of us to be better people. And maybe Ava simply couldn't rise to his challenge.
Don't listen to him! He's trying to divert everyone from the truth.
Even though Wolfgang and I didn't always see eye to eye, my respect for him and his talent never wavered. Why would someone like me harm him? Me, who's been leading this trial much the same way he led the one before. I may have questioned the idea no one here would kill, but that doesn't make me someone who wants to see bloodshed.
He does! He does want bloodshed! We have all the proof he's a cold-blooded killer! Wolfgang's blackmail, which he lied about having!
But wasn't Damon playing?
Nothing he says should be trusted. Nothing he says about me or anything else.
It is odd that we place faith in a man who does not have faith in us. So much so, these discussions are mostly led by his own conjecture.
Damon isn't the killer, though. Why would he try to mislead anyone? Like, he and I were playing a game when the murder happened, and multiple people can vouch for us.
Not to mention, the things he's been saying make a lot of sense.
Truth has no personal alliance. That's why.
Even if he wasn't here, we'd arrive at the same conclusion anyway.
Depends who you mean by we.
Then, you all still think I'm the killer?
Someone needs to be voted by the end of this.
Don't just say it like that!
Oops.
No! My ears!
How would I know? How would I know when to drop it?
Drop what?
The battery! Damon says the killer dropped the battery when Diana was already in the boiler room. But how would I know when Diana was in the boiler room? It's not as if I could listen out for her. The music speakers are too loud. And the dining hall has no clocks. So it'd be impossible for me to know if it was 8:45 a.m.
Right. Only Mark's DJ pad had a clock.
Maybe Ava asked Mark for the time.
She never spoke to me.
We never spoke! I never even got up from my chair! Besides, how could I be sure Diana arrived on time anyway? If you can't explain how I knew when to drop the battery, then shut up and stop accusing me!
Eita, a dubladora colocou a vida dela nessa dublagem, né? Eva fez um pronto decente. Como que ela soltou a bateria no tempo certo? Como é que ela conseguiu a chance? It doesn't like it seems likely. Her entire plan fails and the timing isn't right. Come on, think. Come on, think. If my ears of debate have taught me anything, I need to took and this from another angle.
Não, você não.
If I just take it from the top, why assuming Eva is the killer? Reject the time. Não? Deixa pra lá. Então ela pede não entrar. A câmera, ela viu pelo reflexo da câmera.
The only way the killer would have known when to spring their trap was by seeing Diana enter the room. Any uncertainty would ruin the plan, and the dining hall was too loud to hear anything over.
Onde a Diana assistiu, tem tem apenas duas possibilidades de lugares. A câmera.
This is it. It's impossible to see anything from the vent, which means the only way anyone could see into the room was by using the school cameras.
Say what?
I don't understand how, but Ava must have used the camera.
Is she working with the kidnappers?
Não, é isso.
Are you kidding me? How the hell would I have access to the camera?
Naturalmente eu deveria saber com algumas telas. Uma tela, né? Pensando agora no várias pistas que a gente pegou e discutiu, I can't pinpoint anything which could provide an answer to that question. Feels like a deja vu, does it? When all other opinion I ruled out, I can only turn towards the one which still remains. The one thing we have yet not discussed ever. It's time I bring it an end to what you started. For better or for worse, this one will our final lie. Yahoo! Oops! Não! Não! Eu odeio, eu odeio! I hate! Cara, eu odeio. Eu espero que se crashar já era. Acabou aqui o vídeo, gente. Acabou a minha série aqui. Pera, eu acabei de pular todos os controles. Eu fiz isso mesmo, eu não sei. Putz.
There's no proof I killed Wolfgang.
Como é que atira? Eu esqueci.
I didn't see anything.
Ah, tá.
It's Damon who's suspicious. It's Damon who's suspicious. This isn't fair.
Ah, tá. Spacebar.
This isn't fair.
Ai, mas é complicado.
This isn't fair. Who cares about the camera?
Ah, eu me lembro que não foi eu que passei.
Why would I kill anyone? I just wanted to help. It's Damon who's suspicious. Who cares about the camera? I just wanted to help. Who cares about the camera? Who cares about the camera? This isn't fair. Why would I kill anyone? I didn't see anything. It's Damon who's... This isn't fair. This isn't fair. This isn't fair. I didn't see anything. It's Damon who's suspicious. Who cares? It's Damon who's suspicious. There's no proof I killed Wolfgang. There's no proof I killed Wolfgang. There's no proof I killed Wolfgang. It's Damon who's suspicious. 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 I didn't see anything. I just wanted to help. I didn't see anything. This isn't fair. This isn't fair. This isn't fair. It's Damon who's suspicious. This isn't fair. I didn't see. This isn't fair. It's Damon who's suspicious. Damon, I thought you trusted me. There's no proof I killed Wolfgang. It's Damon who's suspicious.
Que merda foi essa?
I didn't see anything. It's Damon who's suspicious. I just wanted to help. It's Damon who's suspicious. I didn't see anything. I just wanted to help. This isn't fair. There's no proof It's Damon who's suspicious. This isn't fair. I didn't see anything. This isn't fair. Who cares
Usando essa experiência de Cuphead me ensinou muito.
I just wanted to help. I just wanted to help. I didn't see it. This isn't fair. I just wanted to help. It's Damon who's suspicious. Who cares about the kid? It's Damon who's suspicious. There's no proof Damon, I thought you trusted me.
Não
It's
crashou,
Damon
gente.
who's suspicious. It's Damon who's suspicious. It's Damon who's suspicious. Who cares about the camera? It's Damon who's suspicious. I didn't see anything. This isn't fair. Why would I? It's Damon who's. It's Damon who's suspicious. There's no
vou parar de ser chata.
It's Damon who's suspicious.
Para! Eu vou chorar. Gente. Eu vou avisar quando eu chegar na hora.
Me. I didn't see anything. I just wanted to help. It's Damon who's suspicious. I just wanted to help. It's Damon who's suspicious. This isn't fair. This isn't fair. I didn't see anything. Why would I kill anyone? I told you so.
Merda.
This isn't fair. It's Damon who's. I just wanted to help. Why would I kill any? Why would I kill anyone? Who cares about the camera? I just wanted to help. I just wanted to help. Who cares about the camera? Who cares about the camera? Why would I kill anyone? Why would I kill anyone? There's no proof I killed Wolfgang. Why would I kill anyone? Who cares about the camera? It's Damon who's suspicious. I just wanted to help. Who cares about the camera? It's Damon who's suspicious. There's no proof I killed Wolfgang. This isn't fair. I just wanted to help. Why would I kill anyone? There's no proof I killed Wolfgang. Who cares about the camera? How can I access the security camera?
Personal gimmick.
I just wanted
Merda!
to help.
Demorei.
There's no proof I killed Wolfgang. Who cares about the camera? There's no proof I killed Wolfgang. There's no proof Who cares about the camera? Who cares about the camera? I just wanted to help. Why would I kill anyone? I didn't see anyone.
Não, não acredito. Será que consigo?
Why would I kill anyone? I didn't see anyone.
Isso!
I just wanted to help. I just wanted to help. Who cares about the camera? I didn't see any. Who cares about the camera? I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything. Who cares about the camera? This isn't fair. It's David who's suspicious. Who cares about the camera? Who cares about the camera? Why would I kill anyone? There's no proof I killed Wolf. It's Damon who's suspicious.
Não!
It's Damon.
Como é que eu desvio de tudo isso?
There's no proof I killed Wolfgang.
Não dá pra desviar tudo isso. Ou dá?
I just wanted to help. This isn't fair. I didn't see anything. There's no proof I killed Wolfgang. I just wanted to help. There's no proof I killed.
Vai.
Why would I kill anyone? There's no proof I killed Wolf. It's Damon who's suspicious. It's Damon who's suspicious. This isn't fair.
Vai, vai.
There's no proof I killed Wolfgang. I didn't see any. This isn't fair. I didn't see any. I just wanted to help. Who cares about the camera? Why would I kill anything? I didn't see anything. I just wanted to help. I just... This isn't fair. There's no proof I killed Wolfgang. Who cares? How could I access the security camera?
Eva personal game console. Que merda!
It's Damon who's suspicious. It's Damon who's suspicious. This isn't fair. There's no proof I killed Wolfgang. There's no proof I killed Wolfgang. I didn't see anything. It's Damon who's suspicious. This isn't fair. It's Damon who's suspicious. There's no proof I killed Wolf. I just wanted to help. Why would I kill anyone? Why would I? I just wanted to help. There's no proof I killed Wolfgang. How could I access the
Eva
security camera?
personal consoles game. Não!
I didn't see anything.
A game console. Merda.
There's no proof I killed Wolfgang. Why would I kill anyone? I didn't see any. There's no proof I killed Wolfgang. I didn't see anything. It's Damon who's suspicious. I didn't see anything. Why would I kill? There's no proof I killed Wolfgang. It's Damon who's suspicious. Who cares about the camera? I didn't see any. Who cares about the camera? I didn't see anything. There's no proof I killed Wolfgang. Who cares about the camera? There's no proof I killed Wolfgang. I didn't see any. I just wanted to help. Why would I kill anyone? There's no proof I killed Wolfgang. Why would I kill anyone? How could I access the
Para
security
de
camera?
mudar de lugar.
It's over.
Não! Ah,
We know the truth.
gritei. Merda.
No! Don't kill me!
What you said was true, Ava. Whether or not the trap works depends on if the killer can see inside the boiler
Tava
room.
gravando? Tava gravando. Agora terminou logo essa try.
Which begs the question, how does the killer see inside? They can't just get on their knees and peek through the vent. Everyone in the dining hall would notice. Besides, the vent probably offers very little in the way of an actual view of the room.
Exactly! It's impossible!
Right. It's impossible. From this particular angle. If I switch perspectives, your entire argument comes completely undone.
What do you mean?
Ava assumes I'm taking only one factor into account. Her position at the time of Wolfgang's murder. Little does she know that in ruling out that factor, she's led me straight to another. A certain item which could have granted her the ability to see inside the boiler room. An item that, like the chemical smell, only makes sense when all other options have been ruled out. The game console she brought with her to the tournament.
Ava had a game console?
She wanted to get in the spirit of the tournament without being directly involved. Or so she claimed. But when every other option has been ruled out, what else can we look to but the one that's yet to be addressed?
Are you saying she saw inside the boiler room
No.
using the console?
We are teenagers.
So he played live footage of the room?
Sounds like a stretch.
If I'm wrong, Ava should be able to prove her innocence. Go on, Ava. Show us the console.
Huh?
I don't think she has the console on her, dude.
She has to. She never had an opportunity to slink away and dispose of it.
What about the blackout?
When the blackout first hit, people were disorientated for about a minute at most. Ava likely spent those 60 seconds undoing the cord and moving the chair. Between then and now, she's never been alone. The only exception was when she and I split up to investigate the dining hall and the dorms respectively. However, the laundry room, dining hall, and courtyard all had people in them. So I doubt she hid the console in any of those rooms.
And the janitor closet? That room has been locked for days now. She obviously couldn't hide the console there.
Which means it must still be on her person. Like I said earlier, if I'm wrong about the console, we can take it out right now and show everyone its contents.
What are you waiting for? Quit hiding the stupid thing and show it!
You're just trying to make me look bad. You don't know what you're talking about. You're just jealous of me. You're jealous of me and my talent. That's all you are. Jealous.
Tocar na música do Don't Stop the Page. Tá bom.
Hey, calm down.
Why not just pull out the console?
Yes! Show us the console and then you'll be done with this!
No!
Hey!
I don't have to show anyone anything.
That's the most suspicious thing you could say.
It's not suspicious. I'm telling the truth.
That's obviously a lie.
Why go through the effort of mentioning Wolfgang's blackmail if he won't reveal this?
Now that I think back on it, Ava had been staring at her console the entire tournament. I thought it was weird, coming all the way over to the dining hall when she could have just stayed in her dorm.
Well, where did she obtain this console? We should discuss those details before continuing any more with these accusations.
She said she won it from Tozu's gotcha pet.
Seems natural you would stock that machine with dangerous items. With this
between 14 impossible culprits and one possible killer, there's no need to sort out the facts further.
Ava, you're the only one we can vote for.
That's such twisted logic. You're going to vote for me without being completely sure I'm even guilty?
There's no need to be completely sure, if no one else can be suspected.
In case anyone still doubts Ava is the killer, I'll go through the case one last time, and once all the pieces are laid out for everyone to see, I'll prove she's the killer, once and for all.
Oh. What time Wolfgang and Diana receive? Blackout. Não é aqui agora. 5 minutos? I suppose. Não. Também não. 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 Não, não faz sentido também. Não. Então é aqui. Vou riscar aqui aqui. Não. Então é aqui. Também não. Então é aqui. Também não. Qual was... Ah! Eu tenho literalmente uma vida. Um coraçãozinho. Eternal block. Car battery. Aqui. Então pode ser aqui. Isso aqui. Isso aqui. Não! Ele não deixou a bateria dentro do negócio? Como assim? Como assim? Hã? Ah, tá. Essa bateria. Ah, o Killer roubou do quarto do Jed. Taser. Ok. Quem chegou no boiler room por último? A Diana. Graças a Deus ela morreu, gente. Esse segundo capítulo que ela esteja viva. Por favor. Ela não pode morrer. Tá proibido.
This case was directly incited by the motive Tozu introduced, in which everyone here received another person's blackmail. Amidst the chaos that spawned, the killer saw an opportunity to commit a murder. They sent letters to two people, Wolfgang Akide, who they planned to kill, and Diana Venezia, who they planned to frame. Wolfgang and Diana were asked to meet in the boiler room in 2 days' time. Wolfgang's letter told him to arrive at 8:15 a.m.
The messages threatened to expose our blackmail, so we had no choice but to follow their instructions.
At this point, the killer probably knew the way they were going to kill Wolfgang, hence, how they reacted to this next piece of information. The following morning, it was revealed that Cassidy and Jet were going to hold a game tournament.
The point was for people to spend time together and not think murdery thoughts. But little did we know, a would-be killer was lurking nearby. And how? The emboldened their own plans and made it so the tournament would happen at 9 a.m.
Did you just agree with yourself?
Both Wolfgang and Diana turned down the offer, which must have been music to the killer's ears, since it confirmed their plan was working. The killer took this as a sign to commence the next phase of their plan. Later that evening, they went downstairs to the boiler room and began preparing the murder weapon.
Though it might be more accurate to call it a murder mechanism, the killer wrapped an extension cord as tightly as they could around a car battery, which had been stolen from Jet's room.
Legal que todo mundo tá, tipo, falando. Menos a Eva, né?
I imagine the battery must have been sitting on top of the generator. Wouldn't want to risk an explosion by bringing lithium too close to the water.
The killer avoided opening the boiler room vent for this segment, probably because they knew I'd remember it being closed originally.
A crucial part of the killer's plan would involve sliding the cord through the boiler room vent and out the other end into the dining hall. So they could then walk upstairs to the dining hall and tie the protruding part of the cord to the dining hall vent.
Funnily enough, the killer was going to be needed in the dining hall very shortly.
Yeah, to help Cass and me rearrange the dining hall's furniture. We were saving the whole thing for next morning, but they convinced us to do it that night instead.
Their intentions were threefold. Create an alibi, hide the vent with a piece of furniture, and then open the vent in secret. After which, they'd return to the boiler room and suspend the battery over the generator.
Which brings us to today. Knowing better than to head downstairs without protection, Wolfgang went to the kitchen and armed himself with a knife. Toshiko didn't notice a knife on him when the two met in the hallway, so he must have hidden it in his blazer.
Wolfgang arrived inside the boiler room at 8:15 a.m., exactly like his letter requested. As he was waiting, the killer snuck up behind him.
And he got smacked right in the head with that steel rolling pin and crumpled like paper.
Ah, é assim que o assassino tava segurando. Nossa.
A syringe was then used to inject Wolfgang with a sleeping drug, ensuring he would remain in the boiler room until Diana arrived.
The killer might have, left the taser on the floor around this time.
Yeah, the taser they swiped from my dorm. They must have decided to raid the place after receiving my blackmail. If I'd heard about the taser sooner, I could have gotten rid of it, as well as whatever else my blackmail supposedly mentions.
Save the angsting for later, will you?
Anyway, back on topic. Wolfgang was left to lie in the partially flooded area of the boiler room, while the killer ran upstairs to help set up Mark's music equipment.
They didn't care about the equipment. They just wanted to put a speaker next to the vent, because it would drown out the fight which was going to happen later.
Don't forget the digital clock! They wanted to get there before that became available. Don't need people knowing what time you actually arrived.
My letter said to meet at 8:45 a.m., so that's when I got to the boiler room. I made sure to close the door behind me, just as the message told me to.
Bad idea. The killer flipped the doorknob so that the lock was on the outside instead of the inside. You locked yourself in!
The room was really dark too. I didn't even see the suspended battery, only the blinking security camera. And then, Wolfgang, he got up on his feet all of a sudden, and he started crying and saying these weird things. I tried to keep him calm and asked him to come over to me, which he actually did. But the very next second, he attacked me with his knife.
The drugs probably gave him a frightening hallucination, and he perceived you as a threat.
He was screaming at me, and I was screaming back. No one from the tournament could hear us over the music. At one point, I even picked up the taser. But then I threw it back down again.
And that's when the killer decided it was time. Having set their chair to recline, they were able to casually reach down and close the vent behind them. This lowered the extension cord, causing the car battery to enter the water and discharge a huge amount of electricity.
Presta atenção que agora vai ser o Absolute Cinema de novo.
Wolfgang, who was still standing in the water, was electrocuted instantly. The battery itself exploded upon reacting with the water, which the killer was likely banking on as a way to destroy evidence. All of this happened right under my nose. No one could have guessed that someone present at the tournament was committing murder.
The explosion also damaged the generator and caused the blackout. Everyone ended up stumbling around in the dark.
Not for long, though. We quickly came back to our senses and agreed to look for a backup generator on the underground floor.
I used a hairpin to unlock the boiler room door and ran outside. But you guys had already made it downstairs.
That's when you say you ducked around a corner and out of sight. Only after everyone went inside the closets did you then dash upstairs.
It's a good thing she did. Otherwise, we'd have found her alone in a room with Wolfgang's dead body. We would have wrongly assumed Diana was the killer, and died as a result. This complicated scheme calls to mind only one person. One person who just so happened to be sitting in a certain sofa chair.
Ah, tá. Eu pensei que ia crachar aqui agora, eu ia dar mundo
That person is you, Ava Sunaka. It's over, Ava. We know the truth.
It's not fair. This isn't fair. This isn't fair.
Acabou, gente.